Hello everyone, my name is John Michael Bushman and welcome back to Hearthstone, and I have had enough. My druid main heart is aching and has been aching for a long time, and I finally pulled the trigger and built Dungar Druid. Well, it's more called Aviana Druid these days, and this is one of those combo decks that you face off on the ladder every once in a while. Although the more popular version of this is the Barnes version, where it just has Barnes and Ysel Windsinger here, and it combos off from there. But that's the leaner version. I want the bigger version of that combo. And here we are with the Dungar version of the deck. So, main game plan of the deck, kill your opponent in one turn. That's literally all there is to it. The deck is divided into three segments: ramp, card draw, and the finishers. And I would go over the card by card, but a lot of these cards should already be familiar to you if you've been playing in the Wild Ladder for any period of time. Aquatic Form, of course, being the best card draw spell that Druid has. Biology Project, you don't really need to use this when you don't need to, because giving your opponent extra mana can be a detriment, but if you are desperate for ramp, this is the way to go. Malfurious Gift can either be ramp or a finisher because it has extra copies of Swipe. Moonbeam, you only really use this as a finisher more than anything else. Invigorate is ramp and card draw. It has been a staple in most Druid decks, if not all Druid decks, ever since its introduction from Caverns of Time. Moonlit Guidance is a cracked ass card. I don't think I need to explain too much more. Solar Eclipse as a way to double up on any of your ramp and or card draw spells, or you can even use it to double up your finishers. Then New Heights. Some builds have it, some builds don't. I prefer to have it just to have a ramp spell on 3. Pendant of Earth as a way to tutor out any of your finishers right here. It also acts as a heal because a lot of your top end is like really high costed. So definitely a way to heal in the aggro matchup. Renathal is a soft brick. Actually, he's more of a hard brick because you don't really want to get him off of your searches from Pendant of Earth or hell, even Nightshade Bud and Dungar. You would want him to be in your hand as soon as possible. And then, of course, Swipe as a finisher, although it can also act as a board wipe, especially against the Priest matchup. Then Overgrowth just as a ramp spell on 4. Same with Nourish. This is ramp and card draw. Of course, never leave home without Guff. Guff is our friend and will always be our friend no matter what happens to us in this world. Starfire is both a finisher and card draw. There are builds that don't even have this. The Barnes build definitely has this because they cannot exactly have too many of these things because they're not a Renathal deck. So there is that. Although there are Barnes builds that have Renathal in it, just as extra padding against the aggro matchup, but they only have 2 minions on board, so or rather they only have 2 minions in the deck, so they need to fill up the space somehow. Then Overflow, again, card draw and healing. Then Nightshade Bud is a card that I didn't believe in at first, but the more I played with the deck, this acts as extra copies. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong card. This acts as extra copies of your other minions in the deck. Do not use this to cast spells, especially the ones that deal damage, because the target is randomly chosen. And of course, Sleep Under the Stars as card draw. This is not a ramp spell. Do not get it twisted. And then finally, we move on to our big minions. Aviana, she discounts all of your minions by 1, and do not call her Tweety because she will not like it at all. And then Ysel Windsinger reduces the cost of all your spells by 1. So the Barnes build has this, and she is the only minion in the deck, and then you fetch her out, and then you start, slinging spells at that point. And then Malygos is only really here to give all of your spells a little more oomph. That's why he's in the deck, and that's pretty much it. He is a soft brick otherwise. And then, of course, Aonar, Mommy Aonar herself, the muscle mommy of nature herself. She's only really here to do 2 things: to either draw you cards or to restore your mana. There are instances where you do need to draw cards, but that's usually only when you're ahead. And then but you're usually using her mostly for her flourish. You use Bountiful Harvest in desperate situations, especially when you're low and you have a way to restore your mana anyway. Like, say you already have Ysel on board, and then you have something like wait, actually no, not something like, if you exactly have Ysel on board and you have Sleep Under the Stars, and then you have ANR you got off of your Dungar, you use ANR to restore your health instead. And then, of course, the man, the myth, the legend himself, He went from a stable boy to be running his own travel agency, so there is that. He's basically the third copy of Nightshade Bud, although be very careful with Travel Master Dungar because you have 5 targets in this deck, and he could get any one of them, and they're all from different expansions, so be very careful with it. What you would usually do is to get Ranathal out of your deck pronto so that you don't have to deal with him with whenever you're on your Dungar turn. And then finally, last card in this deck, Ultimate Infestation. It's a finisher, it draws cards, it deals damage, and it also gains you armor to hopefully help you survive in those aggro matchups. And yeah, that is it. And I believe the better way to explain this deck is to see this in action. So, I'll see you guys in the games.
Malfurion versus Lunara.
Facing off against Druid, so this could only mean one thing. We're up against a fellow combo deck. Oh my god. We do have a ramp spell, but not the ramp spell that I want. So we're gonna keep Aquatic Form and hopefully draw into a ramp spell, or at the very least, draw into a spell that matters for this. Or, you know, we could even get one of our fatties, but I have extremely bad luck when I draw into the fatties from the bottom of the deck, so we're gonna see. Preferably, I would love to have a ramp spell rather than one of the fatties. So there's that. We do have a turn 2 play, and we have a turn 8 play if we even survive to that point. But if this is the Barnes version of Druid, we're definitely dead by turn 6 or turn 5 even, because they run Innervate as an additional coin, so to speak. So while my opponent is making their life decisions, I'm going to have a drink of water, and we're going to see what happens once my turn begins. So I'll see you guys there. Okay, we're back. So while I was having a sip of water, I even went to the bathroom, they have Hamul. So this is a Nature Druid, and I'm not sure if this is the Highlander variation, but they are on Renathal as well, so I can only assume this is the Highlander variation. So let's see what's at the bottom. Well, we do have a turn 3 ramp spell now. So we're not going to be ramping anytime soon, unfortunately. So let's just see what my opponent has for us here. Biology Project is scary. So that means my opponent... oh, God! Oh, my God. Oh, no. This is going to be frightening. Opponent could have any number of things for next turn, because they're going to be at 5 once it rolls back around to them. So we're going to see. Well, they are at 6, actually. So, I mean, if I'm dead here, opponent, I'm dead. So we're going to see. Or they could just keep, you know, imbuing the hero power, then summon even larger and larger men. So, okay. They're going to mill me out. No, they're not going to mill me out. But they're going to discover even more nature spells. So there is that. Then again, if this were Mill Druid, they wouldn't have just hung this out here so easily. So I guess we just ramp. And then we're gonna see if we can discover something useful. Preferably a... I would have preferred something else, unfortunately, deck. Although, we can ramp again. We will be at 9 mana next turn, and we can get A&R, or we could have any number of other minions. Good God. I guess we just get another Nourish, yeah, so that we have another copy. There we go. We're just going to pass back to my opponent, and I am gonna cough, so excuse me for a second. Okay, I'm back, and opponent used Photosynthesis there, restored a little bit of their health, and they're still using Biology Project, so I guess we can definitely get into Aviana now, but we do still need excuse me. We do still need Dungar so that we can fetch out the other minions in the deck as well. Because Malygos all by himself doesn't do anything. So we're gonna get clocked for a few points of damage here. Ooh. Okay, which minion do I not want to have? I mean, killing Grove Shaper is definitely the way to go. So I guess we use this to draw cards rather than ramp. Because we literally need more than what we have here. So we're gonna draw. Let's see what comes off the top. Okay, Renathal is a good draw. That means we won't have to deal with it in the upcoming turns. I guess we just swipe and then just kill my opponent's whole board. So we do this. And then, yeah, we do that. Oh, we don't have the mana. Unfortunate. I guess we just ramp again, if this is the case. There we go. Okay, cool. Then we just try to kill this thing next turn, if it's even possible. Unless we draw any one of our other fatties off the top, because having Aviana here all by herself is not conducive of anything. So there we go. All right, cool. Now he has an extra copy of Solar Eclipse, which is mildly concerning. I still do not know if my opponent is on the Highlander variation, but he is going to be clocking me for a what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16 damage next turn. So we literally need to get what we need, or else we're gonna die. And we are at maximum mana crystals because we've already been Yeserad. So we're just gonna overflow and see what we get off the top. Nope, and nope. We got ANR, so we have something for next turn. We have 10 cards in hand, unfortunate. 5 damage to draw 1 card. I don't think we want that. We're gonna use Moonlit Guidance here and see what we get. We got New Heights, so another ramp spell. There we go. That. Then we still have 10 cards in hand, unfortunately, so we're just going to use Biology Project just as a way to get rid of it, have hand space, and we're going to swing it for 1, because we can. There we go. Alright, so we may have the win next turn, potentially, because we drew into Sleep Under the Stars, and then we're going to use Malygos. Oh, wait, no, we still don't have it. Good God. Oh my god, we still don't have it. Because we need a way to, I think drawing Solar Eclipse so that we can double dip into a Nightshade Bud will be swell. But otherwise, my opponent just might run over me here. So we're gonna see. We have 1 turn left. If it doesn't result in anything significant, we may have just lost to ourselves. So there is that. And that's actually the biggest weakness this deck has, is it loses to itself. As you can see here, we drew into the wrong sequence of cards, and it might even just be burned away. Okay, cool. That is exactly what I was looking for, but oh, I think we might just win here. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna double cast Nightshade Bud. There we go. So we're gonna get Aviana, and we're also going to get Ysel. There we go. Then we play this, and we play this. There we go. Alright, Malygos is live and in charge. There we go. So we do that, then we do this. There we go. Then we draw a couple of cards, and we need to do this quick because we could run out of time. Okay. We draw those, we draw those. We still have 6. I believe we have 8. Okay, we'll fill up our hand because we can. There we go. And then we're gonna use Soul Wipe. There we go. Then we're gonna draw 1 card. Hopefully find a way to kill my opponent. Why isn't it? Oh god. There we go. Alright, cool. We're gonna restore mana, and we're gonna kill my opponent. There we go. Woo! Oh my god. I thought I was gonna die there. Good game, opponent. You put me through the ringer there. Good god. But yeah, that's pretty much how this entire deck does its thing. You're gonna be seeing a lot of this in this video. Let's move on to the next game.
Malfurion versus Anhilda.
Up against Warriors, so this is going to be very, very fair bullshit. Because my opponent's playing Warrior. Aviana, I don't want you in my hand just yet. Although, I could just mulligan away Overflow and then just try to ramp up to Aviana and then hope to the gods that I draw into something useful. But that usually ends with me losing, so... Again, my mulligan decisions in this game are similar to Magic the Gathering, where I would want to have lower cost cards in my hand first and ramp up into my bigger plays, because that's how Magic works. But we're gonna see, because having ANR in hand is, I mean, it sucks, but hey, I mean, I'm not gonna complain about muscle nature mommy, rather. So there's that. Opponent is playing a Noyotron, so that is mildly concerned. Okay, we have 3 minions in our hand, so that is good. That means Dungar is going to pull from a far smaller pool of minions now. And now let's see if we do his first try. Nope. Sometimes I do it first try. If we even hit it, there we go. Alright, cool. Then we just put the lever there. And we launch the rocket. There we go. Starfire is nice and all, but that's not what we need at the moment. We could get Aquatic Form to see what's at the bottom of our deck, but we need more ramp. So there's that. We're just gonna gain a bit of armor, and we're gonna wish our opponent good. So next turn, we're gonna ramp with Nourish. Then if we have anything to play at 2 mana, that will be Gucci. There we go. Alright, cool. We're just gonna take 3 damage, so not the biggest thing in the world. Opponent is getting a lot of taunt minions in hand, but I don't think it's cause for concern. So there's that. And now we're gonna keep getting armor. We're just gonna keep ramping here. We need a way to get to either Aviana or Dungar. So one of those 2 draws are going to help us immensely here. And my opponent is just nickel and diming me, so I'm not in any danger of dying anytime soon. So there is that. Okay, yep. A lot of their minions are very low statted in terms of attacks, so I have plenty of time, fortunately. So we do this, and then as much as I want to use this on my opponent, we're just gonna put Renfall out on the field because this is literally his job to act as removal for my life total, if that sentence even makes sense. We're gonna see what my opponent does here. They could just attack into Renathal, or they could ignore him entirely because he is not the concern here. And my opponent should be running just a little bit scared because all I've been doing this whole game is ramp. So that is going to be cause for a small bit of concern. Yeah, about what I expected. They're just gonna ignore Renathal and they're just gonna swing at my face. If I don't draw into something significant soon, I will definitely die before I get to Renathal. Or rather, I get to Dungar or Aviana for that matter. I didn't get it, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna reduce one of those things, and we're actually going to hit this guy. And draw. Yep, we draw 1 card. Still nothing, unfortunately. Do I allow him to gain even more armor? Probably no. I'm pretty sure we're at the limit of that, so I think I'm just gonna swipe. No. We're just gonna allow him to nickel and dime us even more. So yeah. This is one of those times where my deck is problematic, unfortunately. We draw into the wrong cards in the wrong sequence, and that is sad. Again, this deck's biggest weakness is that it loses to itself, and that is a scary minion to have on board. Good God! Oh boy! If we don't draw Dungar or Aviana within the next 2 turns, I will be livid. Okay, cool. Again, they're still nickel and diming us. I need to get rid of this minion, or at the very least, I should draw into something significant here, and hopefully win next turn, question mark? No, still not giving us what I need, unfortunately. We could over ramp and get a card draw. There we go. It's something that very rarely comes up, but if it does come up, it's a necessity, unfortunately. We have 8 cards in hand and nothing to do with it because I am saving up all of these things for the kill turn. Literally Dungar off the top gets us out of here because we already have Renathal out of the deck, so okay, Karen Bloodhoof is only slightly concerning. Okay, yep, swinging for 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if we don't draw Dungar here, we are most definitely dead. Or the alternative is we literally use all of our swipes to wipe my opponent's board. Oh my god. Okay. Dungar at the bottom, probably. Question mark? Nightshade Bud is a way to go, so there is that. Nightshade Bud, we're gonna summon out Aviana. There we go. So we're gonna summon Aviana. Then we get Malygos. Then we get ANR. There we go. Then we're gonna refresh our mana crystals. There we go. This is 10 damage and it will draw us 5. We have 6 cards in hand. I think I should just wipe my opponent's board right now, more than anything else. But if I do that, now that I think about it, it's going to trigger the testing dummy, which could potentially kill whatever I have. So here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna use Ultimate Infestation and hope to the gods that no, I'm not gonna do that. It's just way too dangerous. We're just gonna draw. Good God. Come on, deck. I need you to cooperate with me here. Literally, Yesel off the top is going to save us. That's a way to Yesel, but we're gonna run out of time, unfortunately. So there we go, Yesel, and we ran out of time. So unfortunately, my opponent's gonna have a way to clear everything that I have on board, and we just might die in spite of everything. So I'm going to move on to the next game unless my opponent somehow doesn't clear this, and but I highly doubt it because he has enough attack power on board to do what he needs to do. But Malygos does have a decently sized booty, so he could survive a couple of hits from my minions. From my opponent's minions rather, but I highly doubt it. So I'll just see you guys either at the end of this game where I somehow win, or once I lose, which is a far higher possibility. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, I'm overdrawing here like crazy because I used the 2 ultimate infestations. My opponent gave me the win somehow, so we take wins like that around these parts. I don't know why my opponent didn't attack at all. I don't know why he just gave it to me. But hey, again, we take wins like that around here. And we'll just move on to the next game then.
Malfurion versus Jaina.
Up against Mage, and there are only 2 Mage decks right now. It's either Imbue Mage or Hostage Mage. So we're gonna see which one my opponent is. We do have a turn 3 ramp spell into a turn 5 ramp spell. Unfortunately. Oh wait, no, this is going to be on turn 4 if we do this on 3. So I think this is a defensible hand, especially against Imbue Mage. If this is indeed Imbue Mage, they're going to be taking their time building up their Imbue stuff anyway. So I think this is a defensible keep. We're going to find out soon enough. Dungar in the opening hand is insane, so that means we don't have to worry about searching for him now. We just need to search for Aviana. So there is that. If Aviana even shows up for Pendant of Earth, so there is that. Tour Guide is definitely indication that this is indeed Imbue Mage and not the Hostage variety. Because good God, Hostage Mage is miserable to fight against. So we're gonna get all these Azurite crystals to be nice and sparkly, and then we're gonna mine the mines for even more Azurite. There we go. Alright, I'm not too concerned about my life total yet. So we're just gonna ramp, and then we're gonna ramp again when it comes back around to our turn, so we'll be at 7 mana. And hopefully my opponent will not have assembled lethal by then. This is highly likely Ice Block, which is the most common secret run in Imbue Mage. So what spell do I care about the least here? I definitely Invigorate because this gives mana crystals right away. So we're gonna see if this gets something out of my opponent. No, it does not. All right, cool. So we're gonna get Renathal down and swing in for a bit. Ooh, okay. So it's rigged fair game. Okay. It's also another secret that is run in certain builds of Imbue Mage. So there is that. But good to know that my opponent doesn't have Ice Block set up yet. So if it gets around to our turn, we're gonna ramp with Nourish, and then we're gonna use Pendant of Earth to get Aviana. And then once that happens, we're going to kill our opponent in a bit. Okay, cool. Swing into that. Sure. Get the Renathal out of the way is of very little concern to me, unfortunately. So there's that, because Renathal's already done his job. He be a soft break anyway, so we get Aviana here, then we're just gonna win next turn. Although we don't have a card draw spell. Oh wait, no, we do have a card draw spell, and it's ANR. But we're gonna need a source of a way to replenish our mana in order to do what we need to do. So unless actually we need ultimate infestation. Nightshade Bud is nice, but we literally need a way to restore mana. And that is not it, unfortunately. So we're just going to attack, and we're gonna wait for at least either Sway Under the Stars, or rather Sleep Under the Stars, not Sway Under the Stars. That's a Magic the Gathering card of the same name. We're gonna wait for Swing Under the Stars. Not Swing. Good God, that's an even different card. Good God, I am all over the place right now. We're gonna wait for Sleep Under the Stars because we're gonna need a way to reload our mana. Because ANR by herself does not get there, unfortunately. So we're gonna see. Okay, Wildfire. So they're prepping it up. We're gonna be dead soon if we don't get this act together. So okay, yep, 6 damage to our face, and then the rest of their board comes at us. So we're dead next turn if we don't get a way to reload our mana. So there is that. If we don't get that, then we are definitely dead. Okay, Aquatic Form is a second chance to get it. Do we get it? No, unfortunately. So we are just dead. Never mind, I gave up too easily. I used Nightshade Bud to discover a spell, and lo and behold, we got Overflow. So it continues, and my opponent could very well be dead here. We win! See you in the next game.
Malfurion versus Garrosh.
Victory or death! The nightmare shall end.
Up against Warriors, so we have another fair matchup, fortunately. This is actually a defensible keep. This will at least allow us to search for ramp spells that will get doubled up because of Moonlit Guidance being a cracked-ass card. So, I'm a Renathal deck, he's a Renathal deck, but we're gonna see who gets out Renathal here. Then we're gonna do this. I do try as much as possible when I'm on this board in particular to have the statue be peppered with arrows. But it takes way too long for it to happen. So, I more often than not, I give up on it. So definitely getting Invigorate here is nice. And again, we don't have to worry about Renathal anymore because he's in our hand. We drew into him. And although from what I've read, eventually the arrows do get better in terms of aim. So there's that. Okay, cool. We're facing off against somebody. I think my man here is playing standard, and he queued up in the wrong room. So that is cause for concern, especially on his side. So there we go. Let's see. Okay, Dirty Rat. We only have Renathal as a target, unfortunately. So there is that. Okay, Needle Rock Totem. That is a card that will allow you to draw and gain a bit of armor as well. So, okay. Wait, before we play our boy, we're gonna see what's at the bottom of the deck. We already have Renathal, so getting Yesel is nice, but I think getting Sleep Under Stars is going to be far, far better. Then we're gonna use Guff to draw that card. There we go. And then we're gonna use Renathal to swing into the Dirty Rat. There we go. And then now we have guaranteed ramp for the next, or rather for the rest of this game. So, let's see what my opponent does here. If they are playing what I think, okay, my opponent's literally just playing standard, even a Stonehill Defender. So either my opponent, actually, now that I think about it, either my opponent is playing standard or this is a bot. It's one of those two things. So. Okay, Eviana in our hand is nice. So, do we discover or do we ramp? I guess we just ramp and then we discover. Yeah, we literally have 3 ways to ramp. So we discover first before we ramp again. Getting Aquatic Form. I do know that Yesel is in the bottom of the deck, so we can't do that. Or we can also get ANR. But I think getting Yesel is going to be way, way better. Actually, we can get both. Because We got Aquatic formed. Oh wait, no, we don't have the mana to cast. Unfortunate. Do we just draw it then? Okay, we're gonna draw it, and then we're gonna use it again to get ANR. There we go. So we could potentially win, if and only if we get Malagos, which is going to be very likely. And it's very easy for this deck to go from 40 to 0. So, okay. Now that I think about it, we don't have a way to reload our mana, so I guess we just gain an empty mana crystal. And do we draw 5? Do I dare to draw 5? Yes. There we go. We draw 5, and then this all just in preparation for next turn. So there you go, opponent. Either kill me now or forever hold your peace. There we go. Okay, Igneous Lava Gorger is something. I am searching for Dungar so we can fetch out, or at least we have a way to get Malagos out of the deck. So there is that. Nightshade Bud is also a spell that I would love to have, so we're gonna see. Now that I think about it, they probably hit a card that is expensive to cast. Okay. We didn't get it, so we're just gonna do it like this. This, and then ANR, and then Gazelle. Then we're gonna restore mana. There we go. Then we're not actually gonna do that yet. We're gonna use Malfurion's Gift. We're gonna use Swipe. Then we're gonna double dip into that. There we go. We're gonna hit my opponent. There we go. And then we're gonna use Nourish to draw. Hopefully get Malagos here. That's a way into Malagos. There we go. My opponent is dead. There we go. So we're gonna do this for posterity's sake. There we go. And we're even gonna double up on the Moonbeam. There we go. Alright. I'm not gonna make you guys sit through this because it's literally just the same thing over and over and over again. So we're just gonna move on to the next game.
Malfurion versus Liadrin.
Up against Paladin. So this could either be Call to Arms or Libra
The
Paladin.
nightmare shall
And
end.
I could very well die, like, before I could even ramp up to what I need, unfortunately. Because that's just how Paladin rolls, unfortunately. So we have 2 Invigorates, so we have ways to ramp, but I am not confident about my odds in the slightest, because Paladin is a... Well, it's one hell of a class, and I definitely do not want to use Biology Project against this class, because it's not going to end well for me at all. So we're gonna get Overgrowth just as a turn 3 ramp spell, because we're gonna use Invigorate on 2, then we're gonna be ahead on mana at that point. So we do that, and we light those insignias up. Well, hieroglyphs. Sorry, I almost forgot the term. Then we're gonna click on the gem, get the snakes. Ooh, that's nice. All 3 of them came out. So then we're gonna shake that thing. Then we're gonna do that. I just love this card. I don't know why. The design is really good. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is just a 1-mana 1/1. Drawing the extra card is just gravy. So we're gonna do this. Again, I'm not going to use Biology Project because I do not want my opponent to get any more mana than I'm comfortable with. So and seeing the Peasant, by the way, I don't know if I already told the story, but I played Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne a lot. And I believe I also played Reign of Chaos. Yeah, I played both games. Now that I'm remembering it, I played through the entire campaign with cheats, of course, because those were the days when video games had cheats. And I enjoyed every second of it. I didn't quite understand the story back then, and I can only wonder how I'm going to react to it now. Now that I'm a lot older and that I know more about the world and whatnot. So we're at 6 mana, but we don't have anything to show for it, so we're gonna use Invigorate here as a draw spell rather than as a ramp spell. Unless Moonlit Guidance gets us into something. And it's very likely that it will get us into something because I am willing it into existence. And my opponent is not exactly doing too much in terms of damage anyway, so I think we're sort of safe for now. That is not what I would have preferred to see, unfortunately. Although Overflow is nice, it will allow us to draw more cards. So there is that. So We're gonna get that. Then we're gonna use Enliven, if that's even a word. Aviana is nice, so that is something. And you know, we're gonna get rid of the peasant. And what's this? Oh, that is the exact death line that they have in the game. So, and unfortunately, yes, we're gonna have to ramp my opponent there because we desperately needed that mana because we have Avina in hand. So if we draw Dungar off of Overflow here, we're going to be swimming in it, and that is concerning. So that means this is Exodia Paladin, not what I thought it was. So there is that. What? That is one of the funkiest taunt minions I have ever seen in my life. Good God. So we're gonna restore a little bit of health, and we're gonna draw 5 cards, see if we get something. Okay, cool. Just a bunch of ramp spells, unfortunately. So, there we go. We're gonna increase our mana by 1, or rather by 3, because that's what New Heights does. Okay, we have Aviana, and we have a way to get to potentially Yesel. So there's that. Ow, that stung. Oh wait, no, we don't just get Yesel. We can get Yesel and Malygos, but we won't have a way to... Oh wait, no, we have a way to restore our shit, fortunately. So Aviana, then Nightshade Bud. Oh wait, no, we do need Yesel. Holy shit. So we get Lunar Eclipse, then Nightshade Bud. We're gonna get 2 minions. We're gonna get both Malygos and Yesel. So there is that. There we go. Yesel Windsinger. Then we're gonna use this to restore mana. There we go. Restore mana, restore mana, restore mana. And then we're gonna use Solar Eclipse to double cast Starfire, draw 2 cards, and hopefully get into something. Okay, cool. We are getting somewhere. All right, we're gonna discover another minion. We're gonna discover ANR. Oh, wrong, misclicked. Whoops. We're gonna do this. I think we can still recover somewhat. We'll draw 3. Hopefully get a damage spell. The animations are not helping, and we do get a damage spell. Woo boy! Oh no, we didn't make it! Oh no! But if my opponent doesn't kill me here, they're gonna be dead anyway, so... let's see. Safety Inspector, shuffle the lowest cost card from your hand into your deck, and then you draw a card. Okay, cool. I mean, it's safe to assume that Nosdormu is going to kill at least Yesel here, because it's the card that allows me to cheat mana. So there is that. But if they don't kill Malygos, then that is a win in my book. Okay, they have timeout. All right, cool. Ultimate Infestation is nice, but unfortunately, we don't really need it at the moment. So we're gonna restore a little bit of health. We're gonna ANR. There we go. We're gonna try and recover for that mistake by restoring just a little bit of health. Do I dare attack? Actually, we're gonna use that to attack there, that to attack here, and then use this to attack into Nosdormu. There we go. Do I restore to full health? Probably no. Because it's not going to do too much anyway, unfortunately. I would draw cards, but we have Ultimate Infestation anyway, so I think restoring to full health is going to be the better option here, because we're not going to be able to do too much against my opponent anyway, so we're just going to use this. We can get Overflow again. Okay, I guess my opponent didn't have anything else. Oh my god, that misclick nearly cost me the goddamn game. But my opponent conceded before it could come back around to them anyway. So I guess they didn't have anything in hand that could contest what I have. So yeah, that is Dungar Droid. Although again, most decks would prefer to call it decklist aggregate websites, if that's how it's even called, would prefer to call this Aviana Druid with a Dungar finish. But yeah, it's essentially the same concept across the board. You ramp to 10 mana as fast as possible. No thanks to Dungar being nerfed to 10 mana. And kill your opponent from there. And once that happens, hopefully you kill your opponent, or else your opponent will kill you. And if you guys like what you saw, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends. And until next time, toodles.